Welcome to another episode of On Foodable Weekly, covering here at the National Restaurant Association show. We're doing an Insight series and we're doing Chef Innovators. I've got Jaime Guerrero. You have some very interesting things going on really around sustainability, farming practices, education, all that kind of stuff. Tell me a little bit about your organization and kind of how you're involved in food.
Sure. So, I think that sustainability is something that every chef should be aware of and should be supporting. The whole idea of local and supporting hyper-local, our customers are asking for it right now. Whether we're all going to move to vegetarian or veganism or not, a lot of our customers are asking for those more plant-based menu items.
Yeah.
And then finally, things like superfoods, like microgreens, they're moving on to be more than just garnishes. They're be part of menu items and kind of entrees all themselves, or key ingredients to a menu item that we've never seen before. So
Right.
It's moving towards that direction, and us as chefs have to be aware of that, and we have to support it.
Obviously here in Chicago, you're doing a lot of different initiatives.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about some of those.
I have a dream as a chef that I want to serve food in the most sustainable manner. So I came up with a restaurant concept called Urban Farm and Eatery.
Okay.
And it's all about having a fully sustainable restaurant that everything that is served, that the customer is going to eat, is either farmed, it's either brewed, it's either crafted or baked within the premises. That's my goal, that's my vision. In order to get there, I am doing a proof of concept to start learning. And the first thing that I'm going after is the farming end of it.
Right.
What things that we can do as chefs within the farming industry to make that happen. So I have collaborated and co-founded a program called Schurz Food Science Lab. It's basically a food science lab focused on urban farming, vertical farming in Carl Schurz High School in Chicago's Northwest Side.
All right.
So there, it's a combination of education, driving awareness about sustainable practices, driving awareness about agriculture and modern ways to do it. It's driving awareness about nutrition. It's driving awareness about just different ways to look at food and the science behind food, all the while providing real output. They're helping each other out, they're growing as individuals, they're getting skills, vocational skills that they can use out in the industry for projects like Urban Farm and Eatery or other restaurants or other commercial farms. But again, at the same time, they're feeding their minds and they're feeding their bodies.
Yeah, many chefs, especially either emerging chefs or even chefs today that are trying to maybe remake their business,
Sure.
have a bit of a challenge of understanding what are available to them. Where
Right.
can they learn about? Any kind of tips that you would provide a chef today where they can kind of get an insight on sustainability and local ingredients, farming practices?
It's easy. It's actually just, picking up the phone or Googling your local farms, and you'll be surprised how many farms are actually in the area. You'll be surprised about how willing a farmer is with collaborating with you and teaching you and bringing you into their farms, and even more willing to work with you if you have a specific need.
Right.
If you have a specific menu item that you either use a lot or don't have and want. Reach out to them, talk to them, and see what the possibilities are, and bring that in-house. One of the parts of my program is to learn about aquaponics.
Right.
So aquaponics is the mix of hydroponics, which is soilless growing,
Right.
and aquaculture, which is seafood farming,
Yep.
and bringing them together in a symbiotic way. That is actually a great source for protein in a controlled environment that you can also look at as well.
That's a lot of education process that has to occur.
Yeah.
What are you guys doing to help both either new students or chefs themselves to learn? Anything within the science labs?
Well, we started with a pilot program at Schurz, and we're working on expanding it and growing it the next year. But we also have plans to expand it to other schools in the Chicago area.
Okay.
And what our goal in Schurz and the other schools is to connect with our local businesses, to connect with our local restaurants and connect with our local chefs. And I think what we're trying to do is expand more of these types of programs to connect with those chefs all over the country.
Anything you can do downstream or upstream? Think of it, when chefs do adopt these kind of practices,
Yep.
being able to train staff
Yep.
that can then start to educate that consumer.
That's right.
What is that like? Do you have? What do you think is going to happen there?
I love that you brought that up, because that's the point of what I'm trying to do.
Right.
I'm trying to catch these kids in high school when they're trying to figure out what they want to do. And the reality is that us as chefs, and others in this sustainable and vertical farm industry, we need skilled labor.
Yeah.
And not only that, we need kids that are curious about trying different things to keep our planet sustainable.
You're right. I think science is going to be where we're at in the next
That's
20
right.
years, especially as natural resources really start to become a challenge.
That's right.
For our planet. So it's our responsibility to kind of get into that game.
That's
for
right.
sure. Thanks again for watching another episode of On Foodable Weekly right here at the National Restaurant Association show. Make sure and stay tuned. We're going to have a lot of content coming on beverage trends and also technology trends. We've got a really special episode coming up, so make sure and stay tuned right here on Foodable Weekly.